Okay, everybody, coming back from the break. Again, it's the Business to Business Network show. My name is Rex Perry. If you catch this show and you miss something, you can go to our website, 123bz.com. That's the numbers, 123B as in boy, Z as in zebra.com. Again, our guests are
Микола Мельник.
Оля Johnson.
Dennis Haida. Oleg Bonchinsky.
And if you just stumbled into this, we have three awesome soldiers that have actually been on the front lines fighting in Ukraine since 2014. Everybody pay attention to that. And this whole opportunity, by the way, I'm going to bring this up. A lot of people don't understand that when Zelensky became president, there was an opportunity for Ukraine to become or shift to the European Union. There was kind of a pull there. And there was a pull towards the more integrated with the West. And Putin didn't like that at all because he was threatened already by who was that guy? The guy that died. Anyway, the protester from Soviet Union died in prison poison.
Navalny?
Navalny. They had brought out protesters, and that scared him because he could see that any effort to go towards the West makes him insecure, especially if Ukraine becomes very economically strong and powerful. All of a sudden, everybody in Russia say, hey, those guys are doing good. Do you see what are your thoughts on that?
Well, think about that. If you have a very rich, vast country with abnormal amount of wealth, and the majority of your country lives below the poverty lines. In fact, when full-scale invasion started, those people that came from Far East, they were not familiar with the concept of washing machines or toilets.
Wow.
They were drinking from the toilet bowls because they thought it's sort of the drinking water. Not the point. How would you explain if you have nearby country that came from the same past and suddenly it is abnormally successful economically, politically stable, there is a democracy? That is hard to explain, and it is hard to do. What do you do usually when you steal money and you do not know how to explain that the rest of people are poor? You find enemies. Mm-hmm. Where do you look for the enemies? Obviously West. Like, where else would you go? And Ukrainians, at that stage, they had already experienced the life of independence, and they did not want to go to the prison of the nations. Mm-hmm. They wanted to develop. We have self-identity. Thousands of years old, much longer than Russian Federation and Russian Empire concept altogether. They did not like it. They tried to negotiate with Zelensky, did not go well, and then they resorted to the brutal, pure force with the focus not only surrender Ukraine, but eliminate it and stop, as Ukrainians, as the concept Ukraine should cease to exist.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that the smart guys, the engineers, were all in Ukraine. Even during the Soviet Union, Ukraine were the brilliant guys that were running everything. They were creating everything. It was the Ukrainians that a lot of times were the captains of the submarines and helped develop during that time.
Він зараз каже про те, що навіть історично в Україні були всі мізки Радянського Союзу. І вони брали наші мізки, використовували для своєї волі. Fun fact, did you know that Sikorsky helicopters, he is a Ukrainian born, and he has developed his first prototypes in Russia, but then revolution started and he has immigrated to the United States, and he was able to implement his ideas here in the United States.
That's fantastic. Okay, so here's the key. We need to help here in Arizona. You and I off the air, we're talking about Embry-Riddle up in Prescott, Arizona, my hometown. What's interesting is there was actually at one point in time it was called Prescott College. It was like an independent college. And then Embry-Riddle was able to come in and start this aeronautics university schedule. You actually have a relative that's up there. Tell us about that.
Yes, my son is actually just already finished his second year in cybersecurity and global intelligence classes. Yeah.
And this is very important. So we want to get in touch with them. I'm going to invite them to try to be guests on our show, and we'll talk about how they might get involved with this incredible engineering that you guys are doing every day. Again, tell us about every 30 days, every month you guys analyze. Tell us how that works.
I think it's every 3 months they change the tactics on the battlefield, because every army, like Ukrainian and Russian force, they think, hey, what is a new idea? What is a new decision? How kill the enemy? That's why sometimes Russian have a good decision. Sometimes we have a good decision. Ukrainian force more that we because I think we're more clever and we have less of infantry. That's why we must protect it. Our infantrymen more than Russian, because for Russians don't matter how many died on the battlefield. They tyranny. We are very for us Ukrainian people. Ukrainian infantryman is very important because he's Ukrainians, and that's why we more faster make a new decision because it's important. And every 3 months they change the tactics. Every 3 months because sometimes Russian use the more infantry. Sometimes they use the more vehicles. Sometimes they use the more tanks, and sometimes they use the drones or optic or the fault optics, and this sometimes they have more powerful accumulators, sometimes no. That's why it's every day you see what do the enemy on the battlefield, and you change your tactic, because if you don't change, you lost.
Yeah, and this is important for research and designing and building the best drone systems, both land, air, and sea, having real-world experience. And guess what? It's not just the equipment; it's the guys flying, right?
Yeah. You need only joystick.
Yeah. But if America tries to go their own way, you don't have that reality. You don't have the real experience of the battlefield. You don't have the training. That's what you guys provide, is training. And that's why Amrine, if we could get them involved, they could start the training process.
Because the war of future is not a war of technology. It's a war of soldier. It's a war soldiers who know and new knowledge about the war, and it's very important. Cheap technology and skills and speed. How fast you can knew the new technology. It's very important because in Ukraine we training our soldiers. We can train in them 2 months or 3 months, but if you need, you training your crew of drone interceptor 1 week.
Yes.
1 week, because the technology is very simple.
Yes.
This is future.
Yes. Tell us about the Flamingo. I love the Flamingo, right, guys?
Він питається про дрони Фламінго. І що ви можете розповісти про них? I'm looking at you, Микола.
It's a big drone. It's a big drone. Look.
It's brilliant. It's not just big. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant, but I don't have experience how it use.
Yeah, but how far? What's the distance it can? Please, you guys do the metric system, and I wish America was metric.
I'm still in metric system as well.
400 miles.
400 miles.
400 miles.
Wow, that's the range. Wow.
But think about the price. I do not remember on the top of my head. Anybody can Google it, but the price. And that's what it is. If you think about the strategy, for a long time, countries like Iran, countries like Russia, they have adopted technology that our weapon systems are not the best, they are not most precise, not the fastest, but they are cheap, and there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
And now Ukraine has adopted the best of the West technology, and the strategy that Russia and Iran have been taking, and still using it in the Middle East right now as we speak, and take it and make it cheaper and go with the same approach back to Russia. And we could have used as Americans the same approach in the Middle East as well, by the way. We do not need to spend billions of dollars per day. I do not know what the actual price is, but I'm guessing how much it costs. And actually go cheap, and then we would be able to destroy Iran once and forever.
Yes, and that would be the key right now. See, if we had good planning with Iran, we would have, first of all, made sure that our strategic oil reserves was topped off, which it wasn't, sorry, and also had 1 million drones, thousands of drones before you start this. That way you're ready. And you save lives. You save the soldiers on the front line.
Cheap drones.
Yeah.
The key is not only drones,
Yeah.
but cheap drones.
Yeah, and mass produced.
Yes.
And trained operators
Yeah.
that know. That's the other part that America doesn't understand. It's this training that you guys can provide. That's what we really need. Now, what's amazing is you're able to sometimes do these drones. The actual controls are far away. I mean, yeah. Explain that. A lot of people don't understand that.
Як керувати на дистанції?
Yeah,
It's
it's via the satellite link,
no,
right?
no. It's a free radars in the video, and it's for 30 miles. It's normal. It's
30 miles away.
It's a small drones. It's
Yeah.
a very cheap drones.
Yeah.
If you have a strategic drones, you can see the more.
Yeah.
But in the 40 kilometers, it's 30 miles. You can normal operate, and you see all, and you destroy it. Mostly you destroy Russian Shahed. And I think that if you have the system in the war with Iran, you save life your soldiers.
Yeah. This needs to be our next race. You remember in the 60s, we had a race with the Soviet Union for missiles, and it was a nuclear race. This needs to be the drone race, and we need to outproduce. Now, here's our goal. Here's the ultimate goal. I don't think it's going to be Putin, but somebody in Russia needs to understand that we all want to just do business together and live in peace. We want to actually do trade with each other. We want to, you guys have grain. You guys know how to grow crops, right? And feed the world. This is what we need. We need peace so that we can help bring everybody up, even the very poor nations, and give them protection from violence. And no more bullies. I mean, Hitler was a bully. Mussolini was a bully. Tojo was a bully. Sorry, this is my history from World War II. These were bullies. And we got to punch the bully in the nose, and then their people need to say, this was not a good idea.
Putin.
No, we should understand that Ukraine need not peace. We need a win.
Yeah.
Because we have a free peace agreement with Russia from 2014. And they broke all. After last peace agreement we have in Paris in 2021. In 2020, sorry. After then, in 2022, we have a big invasion.
Yeah.
That's why, we need a win.
Yeah, but the point is, Putin needs to be out of office. His whole regime needs to be. They need to but unfortunately, they got such a grip on their people, and how do you fight that? I mean, how
It's
do
no different than Stalin regime.
Yeah. We got about 2 minutes left. Contact information, Olya.
All right. Cactus and Tryzub.com.
Cactus, and then spell A-N-D.
Yes. CACTUSANDTRYZUB.
And that's where you can contact, you can fill out a form, you can get involved, participate. We want to help support you guys as much as we can.
You can contact us, and we can help you to connect with people that would be able to answer more of your questions or do whatever is interested and what you want to know. We will be able to accomplish that.
And we're going to do our best to reach out to Amory Riddle.
Correct.
To see if and then you and I will stay in connection, and we'll try to get them on here because they could be a major force in training, but we need these guys. We need these guys to do the training. We need you guys, and we want to support you 100%. Now, anybody out there that didn't get a chance to get the information, it's 123bz.com is my website. I'm going to connect everything this way, and we'll make sure Olya lives here in Arizona. We're going to support Ukraine. We're going to try to get our congressional people, the senators, we're going to try to raise money. We're going to try to get involved here because this is a fight for freedom. And if anybody understands, here we are, 250 years since America's freedom. So everybody get involved. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk to you next week.